Welcome to Passive Income from Alternative Assets to Real Estate and everything in between, and not podcasts. In this show, we discuss litigation, finance, lawsuit funding, and all other alternative assets all the way to real estate assets, including multifamily, student housing, and everything in between. You will get direct insights from operators, investors, team members, so you can better understand opportunities. If you are an active investor, we want you to become better in your own deals. Learn what propels your success and help you get to the next level. If you are a passive investor, we go behind the scenes so you make a better decision with your investments and give you options so you reach financial freedom and make a difference. Please subscribe, leave comments, like, and you can reach at podcast@yourtcp.com. You can find us on YouTube, Town Center Partners. Now your host, Ronnie Elias.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Ronnie with Town Center Partners, and today I have the one and only Whitney Sewell. Whitney, it is great to have you, sir. How are you doing today?
I am doing amazing, Ronnie. It's a pleasure to be here.
Exactly. I mean, the tables have switched now, sir. Yeah, I was on Whitney's amazing podcast. You must check it out. Whitney, why don't you just kind of tell people, give us a little background about you so folks can kind of know who you are and what a force to be reckoned with you are also.
Well, I'll give the very quick version, but yes, started at military. Was in the military, went overseas, come back, went into law enforcement, Kentucky State Police, then became a federal agent. While I was in with Kentucky State Police, though, I had an income problem. This was like 2009. Like making like $35,000 a year, working every night, weekend, and holiday. So I was looking for something else, and in came real estate. Looking for something to supplement. I never imagined what it would be today. And then, but kept doing small multifamily up to like a 15 unit until just a few years ago. But my wife and I we just decided to jump. Once we learned about the syndication business, we didn't even know this was out there. We didn't even know this was the thing. And so once I learned about that, we just jumped in completely. We sold everything. We sold our farm and just committed to this business. We started a daily podcast. We've done over 500 interviews with amazing experts, in this business, and we've learned so much. And now as of next week, we'll have about 500 units under management as well.
And just for folks that might not know, what is that name of that podcast?
Yes, the Real Estate Syndication Show.
Awesome. So let's talk about, we're in 2020 now. In 2019, what was kind of your investment focus?
It was, we were looking for value-add multifamily, B and C class. C class is what we have focused on. That's just what the numbers have worked on. And honestly, we've just been very patient. And, a deal we're closing on next week, it was presented to us in June of last year. And we just said no, no thank you, because it was so overpriced, long story short. Went under contract with another group. Fell out of contract. They came back. It was still overpriced. We were just patient. And anyway, we got a major discount, because of that patience. And so, look back now, I'm so thankful, right? That we didn't make an offer, but they knew we could close, so they were pushing us to make an offer. And finally we did, and then we worked something out. But if we'd have got in there right in the beginning, it wouldn't have been near the deal that it is now. But that's what we're looking for, is the value add, properties that are, there's a big loss to lease. There's a problem we can fix. And in this case, it's all management.
So now, the market's hot, everything's going gangbusters, great time to be a seller. What's your opinion? How much more of the good days can we continue to have?
That's a great question, and I don't think like the next year or 2 years is going to look like the last 5. It's just not. Even on an LP side or a passive investor side, it's just they're used to making these amazing returns, and that's just, it's not going to stay. It may not stay that way forever or for a lot longer. And we hope that happens, but we're not going to project that. And tell me your question again. I kind of got.
The market's it's so hot right now. How many more good days in your crystal ball do you think we have?
I just think it's really sticking to fundamentals. And, we have a massive reserve budget, and we're making sure we have great debt. We're making sure that, we're not buying for appreciation. This property has a 57% break-even occupancy, and it's cash flowing from day one. And, and we're having $1.5 million in reserves from day one, and so we're doing many things to hedge against the unknown, but also sticking to what we feel is a good deal and being patient. Like I said, the last last deal we closed was in June, and now it's February. So we're just trying to be patient and make sure we stick to what we know.
So let's go back to something. You said something very unique. You had that deal. You're looking at it. It was way overpriced. The seller said, you know what, I'm just going to go with someone else. They're giving me this awesome price. I just got to go with them. Were you kind of just keeping in contact with that seller, or was it because, you are kind of a very personal person, they kind of clicked with you that first time? They said, you know what, if something happens, let's follow up with that person.
A great question. And so we have a great relationship with this broker. We've done deals with him before. Okay, so he approached us, showed us the deal. We said, it's way overpriced. And we said, this is, where we think we would be, without having all the information, obviously, that we need. But we just kind of gave him a ballpark, and it was quite a few million under where they were at that time. But what happened is, obviously they get a contract a much higher at a higher price, so obviously they try to make it work. It falls out of contract, and then they come back. They say, we know you all can close, please make an offer. And we just stayed where we were at. We said, well, this is where we're at, but we still didn't really make an official offer. We just still said it's still overpriced. And so eventually they still came back. But I'll tell you something else that I learned through that process and that we noticed is that, obviously we got financials on the property the first time. And then after it fell out of contract, we got financials again. And then, a month or two later, we got financials for a third time. But each time we noticed the occupancy was dropping. Okay, so we know they're hurting, right? There's a problem, right? And so, that right there tells us, okay, we're going to stay on this property. Like, we're going to stay in touch. Because they're bleeding from the inside, and we want to stay in touch. And so then the broker comes back again. We made an offer, and we worked it out.
That's awesome. Now, 2020, what is the focus going to change a little bit? Because now, hey, maybe the market, the fundamentals are shifting a bit. How's the investment focus for 2020?
That's a great question, and my business partner and I have been discussing this a lot, because deal flow is a problem, right? For everybody, and it's so competitive. And of course, we're in the West, and I've had numerous questions at this conference just yesterday and today. Why aren't you in Dallas? And I'm like, well, I have no connections in Dallas. We have done no deals in Dallas. It would take, I could do 3 deals in Colorado before I could probably get the first deal in Dallas. But we're very focused in Dallas. I feel like, if we can do one more deal this year, I'm going to be happy, but we'd love to do 4, but we're going to be very patient. And tell me your question. I got sidetracked again, I think.
No, for 2020, kind of what's the investment focus?
Yes. So I feel like, we've been very focused, and I feel like the industry's been focused on like this 5-year hold. I feel like in the future, we may look at more 7-year holds, 8-year holds, things like that, more of a cash flow play, for some, and even buying some newer properties, as opposed to buying some older stock and expecting a 5-year hold, so maybe not as big of an upside on the back end, but more cash flow, through the life of the deal, things like that. So I don't know, just some things that we're looking at. We haven't confirmed that yet. It's just some structures that we're looking at just to see that, what can happen and we can still do deals, but we can still know they're solid.
Now, you said something very unique, which I think sometimes it's like taking the sniper gun approach and then the shotgun approach. I think now these 2 deals that you have are in the same market.
They are.
So now is the goal, hey, let's try, maybe deal 3 or 4. Let's do it there, because now we can get some efficiencies. People know us. We're in the market. We can say, hey, look, we've closed deals. We understand the market, instead of, hey, let me run out to, like you said, Dallas or Phoenix, and then, kind of just starting from scratch.
So obviously, like we said, deal flow is a problem, and for everybody. And the market that we're in, we have almost 500 units there, so we're getting pretty established there. We're seeing more off-market deals, more relationships. We're going to continue to grow there and be very focused on that market. However, because of the lack of deal flow, we're going to start looking at some other markets, but we're still going to be very laser focused. We're not, I've had numerous people say, what if I brought you a deal in Columbus, Ohio? And I said, well, it may be a great deal, but I wouldn't know it. Like, I don't know that market. And it would take me too much time to feel comfortable with them partnering with us, for one. But 2, which is a possibility, but 2, I don't know that market at all. Right. It may be amazing, but I don't know. And so we'll strategically pick a few markets and say, okay, this is where we're going to be focused.
Okay. Now, Whitney, I know you're a big fan of giving back. What's a way that, you love to give back?
I appreciate you asking that, Ronnie, and it's a big part of our business at LifeBridge Capital, and our why is helping families through the adoption process, and my wife and I have been blessed through the adoption process. I wouldn't say blessed through the process, but actually getting the child home, because the process is horrible, but very worthwhile, I'll add. But at LifeBridge, we've committed half of our profits to helping other families through this process of adopting and getting their child home, because the expense can be $40,000 to $60,000 to adopt a child, and that's more than honestly what most people make in a year. And so when we have conversations with other people that are looking to adopt, and they ask that question, and I tell them, and they're like, well, that's more than I make in a year. I can't, they're just done. And so we want to be able to come along beside those families and say, hey, if you'll commit, we want to be able to help.
That is amazing. Now, what's the best way folks can kind of reach out to you or follow you? Because I know you're very active on all the social media platforms, but what's the best way if someone wants to kind of reach out to you and talk to you or get a hold of you?
Yes, Whitney at lifebridgecapital.com. I mean, obviously, LifeBridge Capital, you can see all kinds of stuff about us. You can call or text me, 540-585-4338.
That's amazing. And then, we're here at the Best Ever Conference. Whitney had held some amazing groups here and just really did an amazing job. I mean, got to see, did not know Whitney was so talented with, I think, horses and whips, and definitely got to see a new side to him. But please, Whitney is an amazing person, very easy and personal to deal with, and just is really kind of an honest and great person to work with. So definitely reach out to him, follow him, and check out his podcast. And Whitney, thanks so much for making yourself available.
Thank you, Ronnie. My pleasure. It's been great to get to know you as well.
Thank you, sir. Take care.
Thank you so much for checking out the show. Please make sure to check out our next show. Please like, subscribe, and share. Any questions, please email the show at podcast@yourtcp.com. Check Ronnie's book about litigation finance on Amazon called Litigation Finance, Funding the Pursuit of Justice. Please visit www.yourtcp.com and check out all of the free resources we have for investing. Stay great, everyone, and continue to do positive work out there, folks.